All right, let's look at the Big 12. Game of the week in the Big 12. Kansas State, 4-point dogs at Texas, total of 50.5. And this is another game where, much like the Ohio State-Rutgers game, like you think, wow, man, Kansas State playing really good ball right now. Texas, hot hit and miss. But when you look at the historicals between these two teams, Texas dominates Kansas State.
Yeah.
And they've dominated Kansas State over an era where Kansas State has been, behind Oklahoma, the most consistent Big 12 program, and Texas has been wildly inconsistent. The only thing that's been consistent is they beat Kansas State.
Including last year, what was it, 34-27 last year.
Yeah, and Kansas State, they look like a totally new offense since they added Avery Johnson to the quarterback mix. They hardly needed him last week because Will Howard did whatever he wanted against Houston, but this is a different beast in Texas. A road game at Texas against what, like I said, what I think is the only team in the Big 12 left who has a national title aspiration. And part of what Kansas State has done in the last 3 weeks when they've looked so good is just line up and dominate physically in the trenches. And it's hard to picture them doing that against this Texas team. It's hard to picture them going up, smashing helmets with this Texas team, knocking them back off the ball and having their way. Kansas State, like I said, 6 straight losses to Texas. They haven't won in Austin since 2011. I don't know exactly what Malik Murphy is today. I believe in his upside. He didn't look particularly special against BYU, a bad BYU team. But I think that Texas' ability to stop the run is going to be the difference maker. They're allowing less than 100 rushing yards per game. I think that's huge against this new balanced Kansas State offense. I lean to the horns, but I think the play here is the under. I think it's tough for either team to get a lot of offense on the board. Totals at 50.5. That's the way I would look.
Part of me wants to take Kansas State. You look at what they've done the past couple of weeks. They've been dominant offensively and defensively. They've allowed 3 points in the last 2 games combined and have scored 41 points in each of them against Houston and TCU. Now, those games are at home against Houston and TCU, not on the road against Texas. But hard to argue with results.
Sure.
And I understand that it's, Malik Murphy's got upside and Jonathan Brooks is fantastic, but it's a big spot. This is the biggest spot that Malik Murphy's ever going to be in or has ever been in right now at Texas. I'm not saying that in his life or ever, but right now, this season, this is his biggest spot. With the spotlight of the college football playoff now on Texas, with the reality sinking in that, hey, we're number 7, we got a chance, we keep winning, we keep progressing, and win the Big 12, we have a really good shot of getting into the college football playoff. I got to see how they play in the moment. I got to see how they do in this atmosphere. Part of me wants to take the point that we lost a point of value, but it's 5.5 to 4.5, not like it means anything. But my initial lean would be Kansas State, but I don't have a play on this game.